Taiyo Asano's life sucks. His family's gone. He's a walking anxiety attack, and the only person he talks to is his bubbly childhood friend, Mutsumi. But plot twist, she's secretly the boss of a family full of elite spies. Worse, her psycho big bro wants Taiyo dead just for being close to her. So, what's the solution? Marriage, obviously. Now Taiyo's a spy in training, dodging murder attempts, surviving bizarre in-laws, and maybe just maybe falling in love along the way. Asano used to be a cheerful little dude, just vibing through life until tragedy struck like a truck with no brakes. A car accident wiped out his entire family, leaving him battered, bandaged, and emotionally scarred. Since then, he's basically gone full introvert mode, terrified of forming any connection in case he loses someone again. His only exception? His childhood friend, Mutsumi Yozakura, who sticks by his side no matter how many walls he throws up. Fast forward to high school, Asano's still ghosting potential friends, like it's a full-time job, even though a trio of persistent guys keeps trying to hang out with him every day. Meanwhile, Mutsumi has become the school's sweetheart, everyone's crush, everyone's bestie. She still chooses to sit and eat lunch with Asano, even urging him to give those friendly dudes a shot. But Asano's like, nah, I'm good, and even claps back by asking why she didn't accept that third year's confession. She brushes it off, saying she just wasn't into him, and goes to feed Asano a bite until Kyo comes in, the school's super sus vice principal, who swoops in and steals the bite like it's his lunch. Things go from weird to full-on horror movie when Kyo, later that day, invites Asano to his office for some tea. Instead of a friendly chat, he starts asking creepily personal questions about Mutsumi, and even shows Asano baby pictures of her, which is weird because they've only known this guy for a month. Then Kyo casually mentions beating up the third year, who confessed to her, and without warning, pulls out a K-knife and puts it to Asano's throat. Just as things go full psycho, a white-haired girl crashes in through the window, drops a flashbang, and saves Asano like it's mission. Impossible. Asano wakes up later, dazed and panicking, surrounded by a bunch of strangers in a strange house. Mutsumi tells him to chill these weirdos. They're her siblings. Welcome to the Yozakura household, a family of elite spies. The white-haired girl is Fuda. The green-haired guy is Shinzo. There's a pink-haired girl named Shen, a doggo named Keno, and a bucket-headed mystery called Nana. Turns out, Mutsumi's been keeping this whole spy family thing a secret for a decade. Asano's brain nearly explodes from the info dump. He grabs what he thought a toy gun and accidentally fires a real bullet. Panic.exe activated. Fuda explains that they're freelance spies with a 48-star rating on Trustpilot. Yes, that's apparently a thing. And that Kyo is actually their oldest sibling, aka the family's poster boy, and also a total maniac. Years ago, Mutsumi got badly injured in a mission gone wrong, and Kyo took the blame. Since then, he's been creepily overprotective, treating Asano as a tolerated variable until now. An online assassination threat gave Kyo the perfect excuse to finally take Asano out of the picture. The alarm blaring. Kyo has infiltrated the Yozakura house, and the spy squad scrambles. Fuda casually mentions their win rate against Kyo is, 30% on a good day. Not ideal. The only surefire way to protect Asano? Marry him off to Mutsumi like, immediately. Turns out, Yozakura family rules say you can't hurt your own. All Asano has to do is put a ring on it and voila, instant immunity. But the word family triggers Asano's trauma again, and he starts hyperventilating. Mutsumi gently tells Fuda she's being too harsh, and the gang preps to fight Kyo instead. Too late, Kyo's already in the room, casually chilling like he owns the place. He takes out Shinzo's traps, lectures everyone mid-battle, and effortlessly shrugs off every attack. Even when Fuda flings him across the room, and Shinzo unleashes robo-arms while Shen pops steroids to punch him, Kyo just stands back up and counters with terrifying precision. It's like fighting an anime final boss with cheat codes. Fuda launches drones, Shinzo hides Asano behind a secret picture frame, and the others throw everything they've got at Kyo. But he just strolls through the chaos like he's on a casual walk. Eventually, he finds Mutsumi and a disguised Asano and demands she hand him over. Mutsumi tries to bluff, but Kyo isn't buying it. He lays out his twisted plan. She'll never leave home, never have friends, love, or internet access. Total lockdown life, but hey, at least she'll be safe. He hugs her while she cries, totally breaking down. Then, plot twist. Asano, watching from a peephole, reveals himself, and tells Mutsumi she doesn't have to give in. Kyo tries to shut him down, but Asano's had enough. He yells for the ring, and Mutsumi tosses it, but Kyo catches it midair with his spider wires and traps Asano like a fly. Game over? Not even close. With his hands bleeding and wrapped in slicing wires, Asano powers through the pain, grabs the ring, and shoves it onto his finger. Marriage complete. Family member status unlocked. Everyone's in shock. Kyo is stunned, and Asano just stares him down like, what now? He may have been scared to connect before, but now he's got a new kind of family, and he's ready to fight for them. Asano thought marrying his childhood friend and accidentally joining a super spy family would be the craziest part of his life. But nope, the madness was just getting warmed up. Next morning, surprise! Asano wakes up to find Kyo on top of him holding a knife. Dude seriously tries to stab him as a wake-up call. And when Asano narrowly dodges it, Kyo grins and says it was just a friendly test. According to Kyo, this is standard Yozakura family training. Sleep with one eye open or die trying. And before Asano can even scream, Kyo's got him hogtied in midair for morning stretches. Mutsumi walks in to find her husband literally strung up like a piñata and flips out. But Kyo, being the drama king he is, just checks his watch and says, time to go. Then he casually grabs his sister and their school bags, leaps out the window, and bam! Asano's house explodes behind them like a scene from an action movie. Kyo explains that a bomb had been planted last night, meaning someone's targeting Mutsumi. He drops a heavy truth bomb. She's not just any spy. She's the *** 10th head of the Yozakura family, born without powers but essential to continuing their superpowered bloodline. Basically, she's like the golden goose of super spies, and killing her would end their entire legacy. Asano's still processing all this when a car suddenly appears behind them and fires a rocket launcher. You'd think panic would ensue, but Kyo's sipping tea like it's just another Tuesday. Apparently, their driver is Goliath, the family dog, who also happens to be a top-tier getaway driver. Yep, Asano's sense of reality is absolutely disintegrating by now. When bullets and rockets fly, Kyo's finally had enough. He jumps onto the roof mid-chase, blocks all the bullets with his wires like a total boss, and slices the enemy cars in half. Casual, back in the limo, he tosses a gun to Asano and says, "You married my sister, so now it's your job to protect her too. Oh, and here's the Twitter handle of the psycho bomber trying to kill you apparently. He's great with explosives, but has a social media addiction." Later at school, Asano gets a notification. Bomb number 2 has been planted. He panics, checks the infirmary, dodges creepy vibes from the nurse, and runs back to class. Just as he's about to breathe, another tweet pops up. Bomb number 3's ready. This guy's live tweeting murder, and Asano's barely holding it together. Somehow, in the middle of this chaos, 3 boys from class offer him chocolate, and he accepts, finally showing signs of cracking through his social shell. But socializing is hard, and he faints from anxiety. Waking up in the infirmary with Mutsumi watching over him, Asano starts doubting whether he's worthy of her. She karate chops that thought right out of his head and reminds him that she chose him, and always wanted to marry him. Sweet, right? Until he looks up and spots a freaking bomb taped to the ceiling. Bam! Room explodes. Asano manages to shield Mutsumi under a couch, but then finds another bomb strapped to his own body. Turns out, the bomber used Asano himself as the final weapon, knowing he'd stick close to Mutsumi. Realizing there's no time, he runs and leaps out a window to sacrifice himself. But just before he turns into fireworks, Kyo appears and saves him with his wires. Of course, Kyo, ever the insane protector, says the wire jammed the bomb just in time. And even though he still hates Asano for marrying his sister, family comes first. The rest of the Yozakura gang shows up, and Shinzo rolls in with the actual bomber tied up like a present. Kyo wraps him in the bomb together in wire and launches him into the sky. Where he explodes in a sparkling finale. The family then casually sits on the couch, watching the sky light up like it's New Year's Eve. Just another day in the life of Asano Yozakura, newest recruit to the most dysfunctional, overpowered spy family on the planet. Asano wakes up from a nightmare where Mutsumi gets kidnapped, and he's still shaken. Barely awake, he steps on the family dog's tail and instantly gets rewarded with a nice little chomp on the arm. Morning love, right? Downstairs, Mutsumi lovingly patches him up while goofing around with the dog, which reminds Asano of his dream, and he's done, feeling helpless. So, he marches up to Futa and begs her to train him. He's serious now. He wants to protect Mutsumi no matter what. Futa isn't impressed by his whole emotional pep talk, though. She tells him flat out that he's being naive. She started training at 3 and went on her first deadly mission at 6. Basically, She's been a walking death machine since kindergarten. Still, she gives him a shot on one condition. He has to survive living in the Yozakura house for a month. Sounds easy, right? Wrong. The moment he stands up, he trips a trap and almost falls onto a bed of spikes. Fuda casually mentions that the entire house is booby-trapped for spy training. If he makes it out alive, then she'll train him. No biggie. Next morning, the world's ugliest bird screeches him awake, and when he doesn't get up fast enough, a bomb explodes in his room. Crawling out of the smoke, he triggers another trap, a flamethrower this time. He barely makes it to breakfast, where Mutsumi is, once again, bandaging him up. Curious how she avoids all the traps, she reveals that the house's computer system only attacks newbies. Once you survive long enough and prove yourself, you get accepted, and the traps leave you alone. Asano, of course, is still public enemy #1 to the Yozakura smart house. As he's recovering from the fire and minor bombing, he suddenly clutches his stomach in pain. Fuda smirks and explains, "Oh yeah, everything here has a bit of poison. Builds tolerance. Just enough to ruin your day, not your life." Naturally, he sprints to the bathroom, only to find it locked with puzzle codes he has to crack, because of course, even the toilet is a test. From there, it's chaos on repeat. He gets blown up by the bird bomb again. Laser traps guard the fridge. To turn on the television, he has to shoot it with a pistol, except the recoil slams him into the couch every time. The food still gives him digestive revenge, and don't even get him started on the torture shower that simulates Russian interrogations. He's barely surviving breakfast while the rest of the family casually dances through the madness. At school, he looks like a zombie because he's secretly wearing a 30-kilogram weighted shirt. It's supposed to build basic strength, but really, it just makes him a walking corpse. One night, he finds Mutsumi passed out from overworking at her desk. He tucks a blanket over her and feels inspired. This girl works harder than anyone. So, instead of sleeping, he sneaks out to practice shooting again. Mutsumi later thanks him with tea and reminds him he's already been her hero once. In high school, some girls tried to cut her hair out of jealousy. Asano showed up, snatched the scissors, and started cutting his own hair to scare them off. It worked. They ran like he was a total psycho. The memory fires him up. He will protect her. Weeks pass. He masters the bird bomb wake-up. He dodges lasers like a ninja. He hits the television power button on the first shot. Asterisk Shinzo is impressed, but Asano admits he still can't change the channels. Then Shin hands Shinzo his progress report, showing how far he's come. Later, the tubhead sibling teaches him how to escape poison gas, and he even builds immunity to the poisoned food until the milk takes him out. They find him collapsed on the floor. Turns out, he's been wearing a fake bodysuit to hide his injuries. Why? So Mutsumi wouldn't worry. Fuda is both furious and impressed. She bans him from further training until he finishes a coding book and fully rests. A week later, he finally cracks the bathroom code. Victory! He's officially recognized by the house's system as a Yozakura member. The family celebrates, but not for long. Shinzo immediately whips out a 100-kilogram shirt. Let's raise the difficulty. Wallen turns the traps from normal to hard. Asano realizes this is just the beginning. The real training arc? It's on. Mornings at the Yakira household are never boring. This one kicks off with Mutsumi cheerfully cooking breakfast while Asano, bleary-eyed, accidentally fumbles with what look like her undergarments. Mutsumi just glares and tells him, deadpan, to keep his weird fantasies to himself no matter how creepy. She's not divorcing him. He panics, babbling that he's only testing disguises, when suddenly a stunning blonde glides into the kitchen asking if all's well. Asano has no clue who she is, but Mutsumi rolls her eyes. It's Kango in his latest getup. Kango lunges to smother poor Asano in a suffocating hug, prompting Mutsumi to smack them both upside the head. He resurfaces by demanding a goodbye kiss before sauntering off again, smacked. Later, Asano meets Shinzo, who's heading out on a totally safe, low-risk solo mission to sniff out a counterfeit money ring. Asano wishes him luck, then walks to school with Mutsumi. Just as he thinks it might be a normal day, a speeding ball whizzes by, and without looking, he snatches it instantly, then hurls it back with Herculean power. Whispers of, "He's a ninja!" start following him. Lunchtime, and they head to the rooftop for bento. Mutsumi side-eyes him, "You're way stronger and stealthier than before. Even I didn't see you coming." She coyly asks if he's free after school. She needs help with work. He, of course, vows to assist and heads home, where Mutsumi unleashes a mountain of paperwork on his desk. He becomes her flunky, ferrying documents as she zips through them at warp speed, spotting typos, firing off investor emails, and conveniently ignoring those phony divorce papers he'd forged while plotting his revenge. Mid-afternoon, Kango's latest report is missing chunks, so Mutsumi drags Asano into Kango's closet room, a literal mountain of clothes. She demands his instant report fix, but Kango literally buries himself in the mess. Munching sushi and mocking her grandma energy, she brandishes handcuffs. He leaps from the top of the clothes heap, impersonates Mutsumi to get past her, then darts away. Mutsumi slams the house into hibernation lockdown. Massive walls pop up around the estate, so no one's getting out. Meanwhile, Shinzo has crawled into vents above a secret mint and spots a tycoon flooding the streets with 60% fake bills. He flips on his spy-enhanced smart glass, X-raying containers stuffed with ducats, hacks a secret hatch to grab a coded dossier, and sets off an alarm. Then frantic retreat. Back at Yozakura HQ, Mutsumi ransacks rooms for Kango, while Asano wrestles with PTSD from his kidnapping dream. He checks her art, her gaming setup, even Mr. Bucket heads lair, finding nothing until he spies a Mona Lisa-style portrait with Kango's face. The prankster had hidden behind the canvas. He chases Kango down the hallway, only to slam headfirst into the lockdown. Mutsumi storms in, yanks off Kango's mask he'd literally swapped places with Asano, then handcuffs him for impersonation. She makes them both fix Kango's files on the spot. Dinner is curry. Delicious curry with a hint of cyanide. Asano bolts for a call. Shinzo's on the line, mid-gunfight, out of ammo, begging for backup. Mutsumi hollers instructions. Grab his weapons now. He rushes out, kisses Mutsumi goodbye, and suits up. At the Fortress Heist HQ, he's immediately accosted by a guard waving a gun. Asano channels years of Be the Ninja training. He grabs the firearm, locks the guard's arm, elbows him senseless, and turns the tide. More guards swarm in, he knees one, breaks another's nuts, and wait. Where did Shinzo's sniper weapon even come from? Asano liberates it mid-brawl. Then Ryan-style zaps a goon with a DIY stun bolt. He finds Shinzo, who clings to Asano like a life raft. "You're my hero!" Shinzo sobs. No time for tears. Guards keep pouring in. Asano grenades the last duo, then hoists Shinzo onto his back. They sprint for the exit, but Asano's too slow. A sniper bites him in the leg. He bleeds out on the pavement while Shinzo shouts, "Drop it!" But Asano's learned too well. He flings a stray fork at the barrel, jamming the gun, then shoots the shooter's foot. Crisis averted. Shinzo carries him home under moonlight. That same night, a dude in tattered clothes storms another secret lair, hammering guards for intel. His target? Asano. Several days had passed since the chaotic shootout at the factory, and Asano's leg had healed up pretty well enough that he could walk the streets again without looking like he got hit by a freight train. It was already dark out, and he was strolling down a quiet road, chatting on the phone with Mutsumi. Before the heart flutters could go full anime rom-com, a white sedan rolled up next to him. Instant chills. A sketchy dude in a tattered gray outfit stepped out, his shaggy hair hiding most of his face. Asano paused, phone still to his ear, as the guy slowly turned and locked eyes with him. Mitsumi's voice called out, confused by the silence, but Asano calmly said, "I need to hang up now," and slid the phone away. The man walked toward him and, with creepy calmness, said Asano's name. Okay, that was unsettling. Then the guy whipped out a police badge like it was a reverse Uno card and introduced himself as Hodo from the Koizumi precinct without much of an explanation. He asked if Asano would come along peacefully for questioning. Great, just what he needed. A late-night mystery arrest. That's the end of the recap. Let us know if you want part 2 by leaving a comment in the comment section down below. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel to avoid being virgin forever. See you guys in the next video.